Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do your May the 23rd just for today in a meditation. I greet you this morning. Hope you're doing well. If you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. The title of the meditation for today is, sorry about that, guys, Amends and Sponsors. We want to be free of our guilt, but we don't wish to do so at the expense of anyone else. That comes from our basic text, page 40. Let's face it, most of us left trails of destruction in our wakes and harmed anyone who got in our way. Some of the people we hurt most in our addiction were the people we loved most. In an effort to purge ourselves of the guilt we feel for what we've done, we may be tempted to share with our loved ones in gruesome detail things that are better left unsaid. Such disclosures could do much harm and may do little good. The ninth step is not about easing our guilty consciences. It's about taking responsibility for the wrongs we've done. In working our eighth and ninth steps, we should seek the guidance of our sponsor and amend our wrongs in a manner that won't cause us to owe more amends. We are not just seeking freedom from remorse. We are seeking freedom from our defects. We never again want to inflict harm on our loved ones. One way to ensure that we do not is by working the ninth step responsibly, checking our motives, and discussing with our sponsor the particular amends we plan to make before we make them. Just for today, I wish to accept responsibility for my actions. Before making any amends, I will talk with my sponsor. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. What a powerful meditation. Wouldn't the world be a better place if we actually took this advice? If we actually ran our amends, our plan to make amends, and the way to go about it, if we actually ran it past our sponsors. And I think just from the perspective of someone that's been here nearly 30 years, I think what happens is we grow up in recovery and we are about doing our 10th step on a daily basis. And so sometimes I think what happens is that things take place during the course of the day. And we have it in our minds how we need to make that amends, making it properly, right? So what happens sometimes is that we just barge right into it the next day. We haven't talked to anyone. We're pretty sure-footed, and we end up making a worse mess. So there's a word of caution even to individuals like myself that have been here for a while to still have that connectedness with some of the things that we think are givens. You know what? You could call your sponsor and just say, you know what, I was thinking, I did my 10th step last night and, I want to make prompt amends. Let me run this past you because I really want to make sure that I don't do more harm. This is the situation. Run it down in about 5 minutes or less, right? This is the situation and this is how I responded. Now later, I was disturbed by my response. And even though I meant what I said, I didn't mean to say it the way that I said it. What do you think about such and such? as readdressing it. And let your sponsor give you feedback. Because a lot of times there is such a level of offense taken by the way we come off that when you go to make what you call your 10th step amends, right? Promptly trying to take care of it, you get into it before you have really even sorted it out. And you're just as inconsiderate in the trying to make a prompt amends because you have not given the individual an opportunity to even give you feedback about the interaction. And then when you go to apologize or say whatever you're going to say or pay back what you're going to pay back or do whatever you're going to do, you're thrown off by their non-receptiveness to you and your BS, right? And because you're thrown off by it, and maybe you had an attitude with it, maybe you had a long-term resentment with them anyway, and you needed to say what you needed to say. It's just the way that you went about that thing. And so before you know it, you're right back at where you were, 0 to 100, instantly by their response to you. And you're like, well, I mean, if you want to go, let's go. And you dive right back into where you left off the day before. Now, I would venture to say you might have felt sorry, but you didn't understand the exact nature of your wrongs. Because if you had understood the exact nature of your wrongs, there would have been an opportunity to, how would I be more? I would be more humble, more patient, and more giving, making space for them to respond however they want. Now, I'm talking about my own experience, right? And I do switch from us, we, to you, they. Okay. I do that, but I am doing this podcast based on my personal experience as I am reading the Just for Today, my perception of it, my experience, and I am sharing it. So don't be offended. Okay. I mean, you in a general sense. Period. End of story. Period. This is my experience. So I've dove into this making prompt amends, not really even caring what, I mean, I want to ease my guilty conscience, but I'm not even really caring about their perception about it because I said what I needed to say, or I did what I needed to do. I held back what I needed to held back, and I'm not going to allow them to guilt trip me into getting their way with me. But I want to come back and revisit it and try to make the way I came off right. And then I am taken aback when they're basically letting me know you're not going to walk away just that easily. Because I got something else I want to say to you. I got an opinion too, right? And they let me know what it is that they want me to know. And because I'm thinking, how dare you? How dare you? Because I feel like I was right to begin with. And so they say something, and immediately I'm into it again. And I've made matters worse. Now, how can I avoid that? Amends and sponsors. See, I want to feel guilt-free, but I don't want to do it at the expense of anyone else, right? So it behooves me to run this by my sponsor, even after growing up in recovery. Even after all this time, it could be a source of connectedness between my sponsor and I that I touch bases when I feel a prompted. I try in life not to add people to my list on a daily basis. I try to be humble and listen, but sometimes that ability to have self-control gets away from me and I find myself in a mess. These are good times to run our reactions, our responses by another person in recovery, preferably a sponsor, but it can be a sponsee sister. It could be someone you're connected to in recovery, a friend that you deeply respect their opinion. and your spirit has given them permission to speak into your life. That has to be there above all else. That you respect them and honor them and have given them spiritually permission to speak into your life, whoever that is. For me, that would be my sponsor. And I have a couple other ladies that I don't mind kicking it with and letting them know what I'm thinking and open to their response, because I know above all else, right? I trust their spirituality. You can do the same. Today is a good day to really work on how we go about making amends. Let's do it in a manner where we're not causing more harm. And that's a big one. That's a big one. I've had a few people, thinking about this even further, I've had a few people come to me in their ninth step in an attempt to do a ninth step, but they can't even stay clean for a month, right? So when they're coming to me, I already know what they're trying to do. They're trying to ease their guilty conscience about whatever just transpired a month prior. But they're not ready for that amends, nor are they ready for my response. They're not ready for the amends because they don't know the exact nature of why they did what they did. Now, I could easily say, it sounds like you're operating out of false pride to me, and you have no idea the impact of what you've done and how it has affected me, my finances, my family, whatever, right? I can run that down to them. But all of that is going to fall on deaf ears because not only are they not ready to make an appropriate amends, do an appropriate ninth step in their first 30 days, not only are they not ready for that, they're also not ready for honest feedback. Because the very fact that they're coming to me with this apology, thinking it's an amends, a mitten, right? No. The very fact that they would do that at this stage, yeah, there's something to be said for being aware that there was wrong done, but it's just an apology. It's nowhere near an amends. And the repetitiveness of the same behavior, expecting different results, is insanity. And most assuredly, it will be repeated unless the work is done. And so me making you feel that I'm okay with whatever transpired is false for me, right? I may say something like, now, what I want for you, I understand what you're trying to do, but what I want for you is to get yourself a sponsor and do some work. That really is a living amends, actually, and can take care of all of this. Because if I survived this far, I'm going to continue to survive, right? I don't really think that what a person does or does not do to me is going to break me in that sense. It might hurt for a moment. It won't last long because I got too much on my plate I'm trying to do. And I'm not going to stay in unforgiveness. That one I'm not going to do. My name is Mighty Stream. I want you to be thinking today about amends and sponsors. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. I most certainly intend to. I am going to have an excellent day today. Talk to you soon.